Deji counted 11,000 naira for the third time that night. It did not change. It was still 11,000 naira. Rent for his room in Ajegunle was due in 4 days. His mother had called that morning not to ask for money, which was worse because it meant she had stopped expecting it. 2 years out of secondary school. No degree, no apprenticeship, no connect. Just a phone, a small room, and a friend named Tobi who kept saying the same 6 words. "Bro, I have something for you." Tonight, Deji finally asked him what it was. By the end of this story, the answer would cost him more than the 11,000 naira ever could. Tobi did not waste time. He opened his phone and showed Deji a screen, a chat, a foreign name, a transfer notification, 400,000 naira from one night of typing. Yahoo, bro, just typing. You no go touch person, you no go see anybody. Just talk to them well, make them fall in love, and they go send money. Deji hesitated, and Tobi saw it, and Tobi had an answer ready. The same answer half of Lagos has memorized. Shebi na dem scam us first. Slavery, colonization, them carry our people comot for boat. Them carry our gold, our oil, everything. We just dey collect small change back. Na revenge, bro, not crime. It is a powerful line because it is not entirely a lie. The history inside it is real, but Tobi was using a true wound to justify a false cure, taking real historical pain and using it as permission to do harm to a stranger who personally did none of it. The debt was real. The man Tobi wanted Deji to scam was not the one who owed it. Deji did not know how to argue with it that night. He only knew the rent was due in 4 days, and the justification felt like a key turning in a lock he badly wanted opened. He took the laptop home. If you've heard that exact justification before, in your own area, from your own friends, hit that like. You already know where it leads. The first payout came 11 days later, 210,000 naira, from a woman in Ohio who believed she was talking to an American soldier stationed overseas. Deji felt something he had not felt in 2 years, relief sharp enough to feel like joy. He moved out of Ajegunle within the month. New room, better street, a generator of his own so the power cuts stopped controlling his life. He bought Amara things, not because she demanded them, but because giving them felt like proof that he had become a different kind of man. Shoes, a new phone, a weekend in a hotel in Lekki, neither of them could previously have imagined affording. This is the path the lifestyle videos never show you. The money did not feel stolen, it felt earned because of how much patience and skill the work actually required. Reading a lonely woman correctly, knowing exactly when to mention a medical emergency or a shipment held at customs, timing a message so it landed exactly when loneliness was highest. Tobi called it a craft, and for a while, Deji believed him. He told himself a story to live inside. Nobody is really hurt, it's just money. Rich countries have more than enough. It is the same story every man tells himself in the exact moment he is about to find out it isn't. There is a pidgin saying that the older men on his street used to throw around carelessly, the kind of line you hear so many times it stops meaning anything. Money wey come quick, e go waka quick. Money that comes fast, leaves fast. Deji had heard it 100 times before he ever needed it. He would hear it again soon, and this time it would actually land. Then the well dried up, the way it always eventually does. 3 months of silence. The script stopped working. 2 of the accounts got flagged and banned in the same week. The guys above Tobi, the ones who supplied leads and took a cut, started asking questions Tobi could not answer, and Tobi, under that pressure, started asking Deji questions he did not like. You need to start hitting our own people now. Naija loans, fake investment, package we no reach. Now who get money for this Lagos? Now our own people. foreign no dey send again. This was the line Deji had not expected, and it was the line that actually broke something in him, not the original sin of scamming a stranger abroad, which he had already swallowed, but the demand to turn the same blade on his own people, men exactly as broke as he had been 4 months earlier.
Deji wanted to quit that week. He did not. The reason was not complicated, and it was not noble. He was afraid, not of Tobi, not of the law, not even of his own conscience yet. He was afraid of Amara seeing him go back to being the boy who counted 11,000 naira 3 times in one night. He had built 4 months of her affection on a foundation he was now ashamed of, and the thought of telling her, "I'm done, we're going back to nothing," frightened him more than the thought of doing something he knew was wrong. This is perhaps the oldest trap inside the trap. Men do not usually stay in the wrong thing because of greed alone. They stay because they are afraid of becoming smaller in the eyes of someone they love. Tobi never had to threaten Deji to keep him in. Amara's lifestyle did the threatening on its own, silently, every single day. There is a saying older men in his father's house used to mutter, half in Yoruba, half in Pidgin, whenever a young man started chasing a woman's approval harder than his own peace.
Bí a kò bá lè gbé ẹrù sílẹ̀, a kì í wá ẹni tí yóò gbé e dání.
If you cannot put a load down yourself, do not look for someone to help you carry what you should never have picked up in the first place. Nobody had told Deji to buy the hotel weekend in Lekki. He had picked that load up himself, then built a fear around the idea of ever setting it down. Deji sat with that fear for 2 more weeks before he did anything about it. What finally moved him was not a sermon and not a sudden burst of courage. It was his younger brother, Bayo, 16 years old, sitting in his new apartment one Saturday asking quiet questions about how it works. Bayo had heard things at school. He wanted in. Deji looked at his 16-year-old brother asking to be taught the exact trade that had just asked him to start robbing his own people, and something in him went cold and clear in a way 4 months of fear and shame had not managed to do. He told Bayo no, flatly, with no explanation that night. Then he sat with what he'd almost just allowed to happen, and the following week he withdrew everything left in the account, paid Tobi back what he owed the men above him to walk away clean, and quit. He did not tell Amara the full truth all at once. He told her the money had changed direction and that he was starting something new. For a while, she stayed, watching the new apartment shrink back down to something smaller, watching the hotel weekend stop. Eventually, the lifestyle was the thing she had actually been with more than she had been with him, and once it was gone, she was gone within a few months too. It did not end in a fight, it just ended. With what remained, Deji rented a small space near his old block and opened a phone repair and accessory store. It grew slowly, too slowly some weeks to feel like progress at all. But every naira in that till had his name attached to it in a way he could say out loud to his mother and eventually to Bayo. There was a night almost a year later when Deji counted the till before closing up, and it came to 11,000 naira, the exact number. He sat with that for a moment on a stool outside his own stall and laughed quietly to himself, not because it was funny, but because 11,000 naira had once felt like the bottom of the world, and now it was just a Tuesday. Bayo works the store with him on weekends now, learning the trade instead of the script Tobi once tried to teach him. This is the inheritance the elders were trying to hand down to every young man long before fast money and faster shame got in the way. Not the absence of temptation, because the temptation was real and the money was real. The discipline was in recognizing the exact moment the thing started asking for more than he was willing to become, and having the nerve to walk back out the same door he walked in through. There is one last proverb worth carrying out of this story. The one Deji now says to Bayo whenever the boy gets restless behind the stall counter, tired of how slow honest money moves.
Owó tí a fi ẹsẹ̀ tì, ẹsẹ̀ ni a fi ń lé.
Money chased with the legs is chased back with the legs. What you run towards quickly will eventually demand you run from it just as fast. He no longer needed his grandmother to explain that one to him. If this story is closer to your world than you'd like to admit, if you have a Tobi or a Bayo of your own to protect, subscribe. And if it's not your world at all, subscribe anyway, because somewhere in your life, there's a Deji, a Tobi, or a Bayo who needs you to understand this story before they leave it. The Elder's Code. The lesson was never far from home. It was always right there in the room with you.